Joining us now for further analysis is Eric Faddis, criminal defense attorney. Welcome, Eric. What stands out to you most in this indictment?
I think, Cindy, one thing that jumps out is just the sprawling panoply of different categories of criminal offenses. Typically with a RICO case, we expect assaults and firearms, but here we've got allegations of kidnapping, arson, bribery, and then these lavish, elaborate sex parties that were allegedly non-consensual. And so just really the breadth of the different criminal activity involved, I think is pretty striking.
Yeah, as Damien was referring to them as freak-offs, which is probably something that you didn't have on your bingo card to hear today from this indictment. You're looking at pictures on your screen right now of some of the weapons that were confiscated from his Miami residence when it was raided, 2 AR-15 style rifles, high-capacity magazines. This is a far-reaching indictment, only 14 pages, but if you go through the 14 pages, there was a lot there. Jessica mentioned a second ago, alleging that Combs's commercial enterprise was a key component of this whole thing. What does this mean for all of the businesses that he has and how these charges relate to that?
Yeah, Chris, I think there are practical and legal implications of that. Practically speaking, it sounds like his businesses are going to be shot. His funds are going to be dwindling. No one is going to want to work with him. On the legal side, what it means, and the prosecutor said, Diddy did not do this on his own. The prosecutor is telegraphing that, hey, there are other people involved. And he said, we are not done with the investigation. Those folks should come forward. I imagine there will be at least some folks coming forward asking for leniency and turning themselves into government witnesses, formerly affiliates of Diddy.
Yeah, Eric, actually, he had asked people to come forward and give them more information about that, giving the number 1-877-4-HSI tip for anyone who has information pertaining to these cases. Now, Combs has faced civil suits alleging offenses as far back as the early 90s. Does this indictment now mean that those suits can become criminal?
So as the prosecutor mentioned, they are not finished with their investigation. This is the start, not the finish line. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to contact other alleged victims from these civil suits, get information about what happened, and convert those civil claims into additional criminal charges in a potential superseding indictment down the road.
So let me ask you, as far as Diddy's lawyers, the arraignment today, obviously they've known this is going to be coming for months now, because they've obviously known his properties have been raided. They know what the authorities were able to seize, the phones that were confiscated, the video, all the evidence they have. So what is their play, with the exception of what they've already tried to do, which is get to the forefront and say how cooperative he has been?
In such a far-reaching indictment, the defense attorneys are in a really difficult position. I anticipate they're going to argue something to the effect of, hey, a lot of these allegations didn't happen. This is a rich, powerful person. People are trying to get money from him. If they did happen, some of them may have been consensual. I imagine that is ultimately the road that they're going to have to explore in terms of deciding what defenses to raise on Diddy's behalf.
And what do you see happening next in this investigation?
I think what's coming next is we have allegations of a RICO conspiracy, of a criminal enterprise, of multiple players involved. I wouldn't be surprised to see folks coming out of the woodwork and being identified as either accomplices and or governmental cooperating witnesses who are given immunity for aiding in the investigation and essentially giving information against Diddy.
Well, Eric, I want to play off what you just said right there. Is this now that the indictment has been unsealed, people will now start to get wind of what Damian Williams said a few moments ago from the podium? Anyone associated with Diddy who had anything to do with this over the years, dating back as long ago as 2009, probably wants to get forward and get out in front of this as soon as possible, knowing that the authorities have the evidence that they have.
Chris, that was certainly the tenor of the federal prosecutor's statement just now to the media. And I think he's signaling to these folks, hey, you are in the target zone in terms of these criminal allegations. And if you don't come and cooperate, you might be the next person to be arraigned in federal court.
We heard a lot of terms come out of this press conference, including RICO conspiracy. Can you tell us what that means?
Sure. So RICO is this federal law that was essentially designed to target organized crime, mafia. What it essentially entails is a pattern of illegal activities that are engaged in furtherance of a larger enterprise, a larger corporation, a larger objective. And the prosecutors have identified some of those alleged objectives on behalf of Diddy. They're saying this was a big web of folks who were engaged in this.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. We will speak with you you shortly, our criminal defense analyst here today. Thank you so much for